Some of my best times have been spent abusing the Hyundai Veloster N around a racetrack. Well, good news. Hyundai has wisely extended their Speedy N lineup to their Elantra compact sedan and their Kona SUV-like thing. And that's why I've come to Sonoma Raceway.
This should be fun.
First, let's get the essential details. Both the Elantra N and Kona N feature front-wheel drive, though an electronic differential helps send power to the outside front wheel to minimize the understeering sadness found in some fast front-drive cars. Speaking of power, the Ns each utilize a 2-liter turbocharged engine with a hearty output. As for transmissions, an 8-speed wet dual clutch comes standard in the Kona N and is optional in the Elantra N. But that Elantra also comes standard with a 6-speed manual transmission enhanced with automatic rev matching abilities. Use the launch control feature, and Hyundai claims a 0 to 60 time of 5 seconds with the Elantra. Based on weight, the Kona should be a few ticks slower to 60. Other notable upgrades include 19-inch wheels, shot in Pilot Sport 4S tires on the Elantra N, and Pirelli P0s on the Kona N. Plus, they have quicker steering ratios, the brake rotors have been embiggened, the bodies have been stiffened with extra welds, and in the case of the Elantra N, a rear crossbar that'll ruin your trips to IKEA. There are also electronically adjustable shocks, N-specific readouts on the gauge clusters and infotainment displays, customizable drive settings via a pair of N buttons on the N-specific steering wheel, sport front seats, a mechanical parking brake, do with that what you wish, an N grin shift button on dual clutch versions that gives you max performance for 20 seconds, which should help you forget the goofy N grin shift name, and, naturally, an array of modifications inside and out to visually distinguish these guys from their non-N Elantra and Kona counterparts. Man, it feels like I've been listing features for a lifetime. So let's stop all of that and see how those N tweaks translate to the racetrack.
All right, first up, the Elantra N. By the way, I have to keep the front windows down. It might get windy. I'm just cruising along here in second gear. This is a warm-up lap from 2,500 RPM, floored. Yeah, so there's a little bit of surge. It's not like it comes on like a naturally aspirated engine, but that's a very satisfying surging sensation. I like it. I heel-toe downshifted there, but I actually don't need to. There's a button on here for the rev matching function. That's a very good automatic rev match. A little disappointing I don't have to. This is what's called a lead follow. So there's a lead driver up there who's a pro driver, and then we're following them. And in terms of pace, this is not like a full-on race pace, which is probably best, given we've got idiot journalists out here, myself included. But I think this is a rollicking pace, and the steering feels prompt, not twitchy. I mean, these are fairly quick corners here. Got a hard brake section here. Ooh, brakes feel firm. Again, I don't need to use the full capacity of the brakes based on the pace we're maintaining, but yeah, the brakes, at least at this speed, feel good. Huh. You know what's cool there is that getting on the power out of the corner, even though it's a front drive car, because of that ELSD, it's able to help pull the car around so you don't get that like unpleasant plowing sensation like you do in most front drive cars. Yeah, what I'm feeling right now is a good sense of confidence. This feels like the kind of car that is quick and, oh yeah, there we go, a little hard brake moment, nice. It's quick and it feels like the kind of car that you can play around with. You can approach those limits. Playful. Playful might be the word I would use to describe it here. One thing I really like is that the seat is holding me in place. Great lateral support just behind my shoulders here. And yet, the bolsters don't impede my arm movements. I got plenty of elbow room. Yeah, that is among the more satisfying front drive cars I've experienced to accelerate out of a corner. That's really nice. For a modestly priced, track-appropriate car, I think this is a great package. And a manual! I'm also noticing that there's enough compliance in the suspension that it doesn't feel too much of a buckboard going over some of the bumps, because this track is not perfectly smooth, and neither is the road you'll be driving on most of the time. I mean, I think the real test here, though, is am I having fun? And the answer is a definitive yes. Yeah, this would make a great weekend track day plaything. Okay, onward to the Kona. As we creep out here, I'm interested to experience the Kona because a lot of the essentials are the same in terms of like power, that kind of stuff, but it's a taller platform, a little bit different. I'm excited to see how the experience feels. Is it sporty enough? Also, this Kona has the DCT, dual clutch transmission, so I'm excited to see basically if it can do that shifting job for me. Okay, already like it's taller, but it doesn't feel like it lacks for steering immediacy. There's a sharpness to the steering that I find quite satisfying. It is funny though, coming out of the Elantra, sitting up taller, it feels a little more precarious coming around the corners. Gas, 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 tracking out. Ooh, got that push feel from the dual clutch transmission. By the way, this is kind of fun. I'm following a guy named Michael, who is like a national champion for Hyundai. Very fast driver. We've got a zippy lap going. Yeah, just like the Elantra, the Kona N is able to get the power down to the ground really well coming out of the corners. Unsurprisingly, the national champion is leaving me in the dust. It's folly to try and catch him, but it is kind of fun. Let's feel the brakes. Oh yeah, good brake feel, solid. These cars have been going around and around and around. I do feel like I'm starting to overcook the front tires a little bit. Might be a good moment for caution. I'm going to say that even though it's taller and much more practical, you can definitely go to the racetrack and have a really fun time in this thing. The whole premise here is not necessarily to be the absolute most powerful, fastest vehicle on wheels. It really is about fun, and I am having fun. Look, my smile, it indicates fun. Oh, and you know what I haven't even done? I haven't even thought about handling shifts myself. The DCT is doing such a good job keeping the transmission in the right gear at the right time. Awesome. You guys, I'm having a really fun time in this Kona N.
In terms of on-track demeanor, the Elantra N is the faster, more settled choice. The Kona N, by contrast, feels a bit untamed. If I was racing for money or glory, I'd go Elantra. If I wanted to have silly fun on the track, yet retain SUV-like pragmatism, I'd choose the Kona. And if you're wondering, no, I didn't have time to drive either of these cars on the street, but based on the suspension compliance on track, I suspect daily commutes will be more than manageable with either vehicle. Right now, the big wild card is price. Hyundai won't release details until near when the Kona N and Elantra N go on sale in late 2021. But they priced the Veloster N very competitively. I suspect they'll probably take a similar approach with the Kona N and Elantra N. Beyond their various performance upgrades, the N squad comes pretty much loaded with Bose premium audio, heated front seats, smart key access, and a complete Hyundai SmartSense suite of active driver assists. Your only real choice is the color, and in the case of the Elantra N, the transmission. Among the potential competitors are the Volkswagen GTI, Subaru WRX, and the Civic Type R, which, as I'm saying, this is due for a generational update. You can certainly find speedy thrills elsewhere, but Hyundai deserves credit for advancing the cause of automotive enthusiasm with a pair of cars expressly crafted for driving fun, whether lugging through traffic or circulating a racetrack.
So we've got cars that are track capable, joyful on the streets, daily livable, and hopefully affordable. I'm not saying Hyundai should end all of their cars, but I'm not saying they shouldn't.